Now, we've looked at how Pandas uses something called series, but a more common way of doing things in Pandas is to create what's called a data frame. More widely used, and the data in a data frame can be used from a list, a dictionary, from a series, or if you've installed the NumPy package, then you can use NumPy arrays as well, or you can pull data from another data frame. So they're a bit more flexible than just using series by itself. Another good thing about these, and what you'll see on your ESP, is that data can be pulled from external files such as a Excel spreadsheet. So how do we create a data set? Well, simply what we need to do first of all is create something that is likely to act as a series of information. So most likely you would use an external file, but in this case, just so we can see how it works, we're just going to create a variable, a list, and just put some things in it. So for the sake of just remembering what it is, we'll just call it data set. Okay, so it's a list, so it goes in square brackets, and it's text. So we need to put it inside quotes and separate with commas. Okay, so I'm going to do something similar to what we've done before. So I'm going to go just with some random information. What should we have there? No, let's have Billy. Okay, right, so now we have a data set. Pretty straightforward. What I want to do now is create a data frame from that data set. Now, what this will do, a bit like series, it will index it for us, but we'll be able to have a lot more control over what's in the rows and in the columns. So what I want to do is again create a variable to contain my data frame. I'm just going to call it df. We're using Pandas, and we need to import it as pd, as we did before. So if you remember before, when we pulled in Pandas, we had to basically say import Pandas and give it the alias pd. So I need to start this with pd dot, and then whatever whatever the Pandas command is. In this case, it's data frame, but be careful, it has a capital D and it has a capital F. Okay, and then all I have to do in these curved brackets is tell it that what I already called data set is now my data frame. Okay, so if I now go ahead and print df, we can see what we've got now. Okay, so let's run that. See, what we get now in the bottom is similar to what we had with series. So we've got the things listed, it's indexed it 0, 1, 2, 3, but it's also given us a column index as well. So we've got 0 on the column and 0 on the row. So we can do things with columns and rows in data frames as well. And if this is a spreadsheet table that's got thousands of rows and thousands of columns, this becomes quite powerful, the things that you can do with it. Okay, so that's a basic data frame based on a basic data set. So how do I then give the column a name rather than just having this 0 at the top? Well, all I have to do when I define the data frame just here is tell it what my columns are called. So be columns equal, now in my case I have just one column, which is people's names. So if I just type name or names in here, don't forget we need to put it in quotes. Okay, what that should now do is go off and give me a proper column name. Okay, so you can see at the top now, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3 for the rows, but now I've got names at the top here. Now I could extend this out again. So here at the top, what I could do is have these names and also have some other information that goes along with those names. Okay, so I could separate this list out into like sub-lists, if you like. Okay, so here what I could do is I could say, well, I've got Mike, but maybe I'll put Mike's age in as well. So let's say Mike's 23. Okay, then I can move along here and I can do the same for John. So I want to put those also within square brackets, and we'll give John also an age, and we'll say John's 67. Okay, same with James. So let's square bracket around James, and we'll say James is a young lad of 12. Okay, and then moving along to Billy, we'll say that Billy is quite a old guy. He's 82. All right, so each one of these has its own set of square brackets inside the original set of square brackets. So that's the structure. Now all I've got at the moment when I run it, wait a minute, okay, one column's passed, but the data's got 2 columns. So it's throwing an error because it knows now it should be looking for a column for the name and a column for the age, but I've only given it 1 column name. So I'm going to need to add an additional column name in here so it understands what's going on. Okay, now it makes more sense. So you can see here now I've got names and I've got ages, and if I wanted to add another one, it would just be a case of put another comma in and add an additional column of information to go down you know, to the next on the right of that table. So you need to kind of think of data frames as you would a table in a Word document or on a spreadsheet. So you have rows and you have columns, and then within those rows and columns you have locations. And once you've got your data frame established, you can begin to pull information out of these rows and columns, find information at specific locations within that table, and really begin to do some manipulation on the data within those tables.